This next section we're going to talk about is Acsension, and basically what that is we talked about when you have that first-time client come in, or the first-time customer rather, how do you ascend them into being a client and then into an advocate, because this is really where the money's at in your business, and the customer service rep has a ton to do with this. How many would want more advocates, and a heck of a lot less first-time customers, A lot, if you're a service advisor, they're easier to sell, do all of that.
We talked about what business are we really in, and we kind of said that we are in the relationship business. I mean, we realize the importance to build relationships with everybody that comes into our facility. So we obviously are doing that through auto repair. Like I mentioned, if I was in a restaurant business, I was in a dry cleaning business, whatever it may be, that would be the vehicle that I would use to build a relationship with the customer, or at least the first thing is going to initiate the relationship with the customer. But it's important now that once that person comes through the path, whether it be walk through the front door or the point of contact is picking up the phone, everybody that's inside your organization has to understand, what are we trying to do with this guy? I mean, are we just going to be a one-time sale, like we talked about, $250 and then he's gone and we're going to go try to find as many more as we can? Or is it going to be something where we want to try to get this person to come back and buy from us, more often and keep that relationship going? Or is it something you want to build a long-lasting relationship and move this person up to an advocate? Well, we realize that if you want to get maximum benefits out of your store with a lot less stress and a lot less work, is to get as many advocates as you can. So that's why we looked at this and said, okay, well, how are we going to do this? How are we going to ascend this person who comes in from first point of contact to our facility, whether it be phone or walks through the door, and ascend this individual up to an advocate? I mean, we knew that it needed to be simple, and it had to be everybody that was inside the organization understood this process and why we were doing it, and everybody that was in the organization, they needed to know what part they played in it to be able to ascend this person. We're going to take you through this ascension ladder that we have been using for quite some time and it works incredibly well.
This is a question for maybe the owners and the service advisors in the room that are doing sales every day. You ever notice that it's so easy to sell to some customers, and some customers, no matter what, you couldn't get them to buy if your life depended on it? And you often wonder why that is. And I think a lot of that has to do with where they're at in the ascension ladder. So when customers come into our business, they generally always enter on the bottom. So they enter as a prospect, they come in for the very first time, they become a first-time customer, they ascend to a client if we do our work right, and it's a good fit. Not everybody's a good fit for our business. If the guy's just interested in the very cheapest place to do business, and that's not your facility, he's not going to be your customer, and that's okay. And we try to get them ascend from the prospect to the first-time customer to the client and then to the advocate. But often what happens is people come in on the bottom of the ladder and we try to sell to them like they're an advocate, and that's why they don't buy. So the very first time a customer comes in, maybe off of, and I'm going to use like a low-dollar oil change. So this is a first-time customer coming in to do business with you for the very first time. And I think the number one reason why someone will not buy from you is trust. They don't trust you. An advocate trusts you. They give you the keys. If you tell them the car needs brakes, they're generally not coming down to see it and all of that stuff. So trust is really, really important with these people. So what we're going to cover is basically a 9-month client ascension plan. So when that customer comes in, we're going to spend 9 months trying to move him up the ladder. Maybe he's going to take a few steps, maybe he's going to jump right to the top. But I don't want to, during that time, say that this customer's, a bottom feeder, he's, just looking for the cheapest price, whatever it was. We're going to let the system judge at the end of it where that customer is, and we're going to give them every opportunity to try to ascend.
So let's go through this process now. Somebody comes in and we get all these things right. So the very first time we have a lead generation program out there, whether it be marketing or just by chance somebody decides to call our facility because they've seen our ad in the Yellow Page book or they drove by and they've seen our road sign and they decide to call our place. So the person comes in for the very first time And these are the things here that we have to get right. From this point on, though, is what's important for this Acsension process to take place over the next 9 months. The very first visit when the person comes in, this is what's going to take place at the time that they're at our facility and over the next 30 days after they leave our facility.